Hi guys, thanks for the invitation. I'm delighted to be with you today, even though we have some problems with the connection. Thanks for having me. My name is Tassos Marinos. I'm from Greece, Kos. It is a small island southeast of the Aegean Sea, where I was born. I live and I work. I have been using Joomla since Mambo days, and the past 6 years I'm developing Joomla extensions for a living. It is my full-time job. You can find my extensions on tassos.gr, where I publish and support them. I also run joomlabeginner.com. It is a resource website for beginners where you can find basic Joomla tutorials like how do I install Joomla, or how do I change my account's password, and many, many more. My Joomla story begins somewhere in 2013 when my main job was to build websites with Joomla. I had a client back then who was running an e-commerce website, and he was using MailChimp to take care of his newsletter needs. One day he called me to say that he wasn't very satisfied with the number of newsletter subscribers, and he was looking for ways to make it grow. So he asked the million-dollar question: can we do something to get more email subscribers and grow the list? The first idea I came up with was to become my first Joomla extension. What I was thought was, since the website allows anyone to register to create a free account, and the numbers show that we get quite a lot of new registrations on a daily basis, why don't we add those users to MailChimp, to a MailChimp list during the registration process automatically? It will certainly work, and the list will grow much faster. I presented the idea to my client, and it was accepted. Back then, I was just a beginner web developer and practically a website administrator who the only thing was good at it was to upload the Joomla CMS and install it, search the Joomla extensions directory for some extensions, and install them. Essentially, I was relying on what had been developed by other people. So I started researching JED for a plugin that could add newly registered users to a predefined list on MailChimp during the Joomla registration, and only after they have confirmed their account. Can you guess how many plugins I found? Yes, Philip, I found nothing. So I was really disappointed, because I have already spent a couple of days researching that magic plugin that could give some prestige points in my client's eyes with no luck. So I made the decision. I'm going to develop it in my own. Hopefully, at that time, the Joomla documentation on how to develop a Joomla extension was really good. So I began experimenting and digging around. Approximately 10 days later, my first Joomla plugin was ready, called MailChimp Auto Subscribe. I installed it on my client's website, and believe me, from day one, the list started to grow. I remember I was so excited that I couldn't resist to not install it on every Joomla website I had access. And without even asking, and without even asking the website owner first, I just wanted to see their email list grow and get more emails. It didn't take long to realize that I had a solution to a problem that could help others too. So I thought, why don't I make it available to the public? Why don't I publish it on the Joomla extensions directory as others developers do? I am a Joomla developer now. So I did. In 2014, I published my first Joomla extension, or Gent, and my journey in the Joomla world started. Since then, I have developed eight Joomla extensions, which 3 of them are among the 100 most popular extensions in the market. Okay, so I have been asked to talk about all my Joomla extensions, but since our time is limited, I'm going to talk about EngageBox and Corvern forms only. And perhaps we could arrange another session for the rest of my extensions. And I wish I can hear you next time. After my first extension came out, I started working on my next Joomla project. The inspiration came from a trend I noticed being embraced by more and more websites. As I said previous, the inspiration came from a trend I noticed, and I was so excited about it. Can anyone guess what was it? Yes, Philip, it was a pop-up trend. That trend, the trend was about a small box appearing at the bottom right corner of the web page as you were scrolling down. Not quite. Okay, it was a pop-up trend. It was a scroll box appearing at the bottom right corner with an eye-catching and smooth sliding animation, including either a typical opt-in newsletter form or a promotional banner. I was really excited about that trend, and I knew it wouldn't take me too much time to develop it, since I was good at CSS and JavaScript. Oh, and to be honest, I was really good at jQuery. So in the middle of 2014, I have finished my second Joomla extension called Responsive Scroll Trigger Box, a component that could help you build those scroll trigger boxes and display them in any corner of your website using some fancy animations. Today, that extension is known as EngageBox, and it has become a really powerful and flexible pop-up engine that comes with 8 different pop-up types, 7 or 8, I don't remember now, trigger points to display the pop-up at the right time, and more than 15 publishing rules for precision targeting. Let me show you now what you can do with EngageBox. First, I'm going to show you some examples of the different box types you can create. The first one, it's a typical Lightbox pop-up, which are one of the best ways to grab your visitors' attention, build your email list, and display a targeted ad message. They are proven to work best for email lead capture. The second one, it's a slide-in scroll box. Which is a high converting alternative for pop-up that slides in from the corner of the page. EngageBox gives you a polite and stylish way to get the visitor's attention without being annoying. Because you can specify how far down the page visitors get before they see the scroll box. The next one is floating bar, which is a sticky and highly noticeable box type that attaches to the top or bottom of the web page and remains visible as your visitor scrolls the page down. Next, we have a sidebar box, which this pop-up type appears either on the left or right side of the page and takes the entire height of the page. It can be used mostly for displaying a menu navigation or some business information in general. The next box type is called YesNo Popup. This box type lets visitors choose the action they want to take next using two different buttons. One button to opt in and one button to opt out. For instance, in this example, the green button represents the opt-in button. YesNo pop-ups are super versatile, proven to boost conversions, and there are so many different ways you can use them. We continue with the full screen. Full screen pop-ups can be used when sometimes we want to be more intrusive and make sure we grab the visitor's attention with a message that can't be ignored. This is where the full screen box type comes into play. And for this particular example, the full screen box type is combined with an YesNo pop-up, as you can see with those two buttons. And the last one is kind of different pop-up. This is a screen filling box. Let me refresh it. This is a screen filling box that slides in from the top area of the page and pushes the content down instead of covering the content as a typical pop-up does, and disappears as you scroll down. Timing is everything when it comes to pop-ups, just as important as the content itself. Let me check the chat. we have a message. I use the pop-up for MailChimp, and my one question is there a way to change the width on mobile and desktop? On desktop, you want fonts? Okay. Unfortunately, there is no way to do such a thing at the moment. The only way to do that is by using custom CSS. EngageBox doesn't have any option that will allow you to define different options for each, for some breakpoints, or different option for mobiles or tablets or desktops. Okay. This is in my plans. Yeah. I'm planning to add to convert some of the most important options, so you can add options per media with media queries and target specific devices easily and without using CSS. As I said before, timing is everything when it comes to pop-ups. That's why EngageBox comes with trigger points that can help you display the right pop-up at the right time. Let me show you some examples. First and foremost, the trigger point that was the reason I built this extension in the first place. It is called scroll trigger, and helps you display a pop-up as the visitor scrolls down. And of course, it can hide itself as you scroll up. It can be configured to fire either when the visitor has scrolled a specific percentage of the page, or when a specific element comes into the viewport of the browser. The next trigger point, called page load, which is used when you want to trigger a pop-up automatically when the visitor opens your site and the page is loaded. Refresh, and again. The next trigger point is called exit intent trigger, and it is designed to track and monitor the movement of the visitor's mouse and detects when they are going to leave your site. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, the pointer. So I'm moving it at the top area of the browser now, and the pop-up shows up. I'm going to do it again, refresh the page. One of the most common use cases of exit intent trigger point is to reduce cart abandonment and increase conversions. The next trigger point I'm going to show you is the click trigger. There are times when you want a pop-up to show up when the user clicks on a button or a link or an image or on any element on the page. In this example, I have this green-blue big button. It's not a green, it's just blue, sorry. This blue button. And once I click, the pop-up shows up. Click. Okay. Just like the click trigger point, we have the Mouseover event. But instead of listening to the click event, the event is fired when the visitor moves their mouse over an image, a button, or any part of the page, like this button. Boom. There are cases when none of the built-in trigger points fit your needs, and you would like to be able to display a pop-up after some advanced conditions are met. And you can make that happen by using the EngageBox JavaScript API and display a pop-up using JavaScript code. So essentially, you display the pop-up manually. I'm going to use now the Chrome's developer console, and I'm going to trigger the pop-up using JavaScript. It shows up. You can find more information, of course, on the documentation page on how you can utilize the JavaScript API of EngageBox. Okay, the next feature I would like to talk about for EngageBox is that you can use precision targeting to show relevant messages to the visitors. For instance, you can use the reference detection, so you can detect the website and the URL the user clicked to land on your website. In that way, you can show targeted messages on visitors referred, for instance, for social media or search engines. EngageBox comes with page level targeting as well. So you can display page specific pop-ups based on the page the user is browsing and the interactions with your website they are making. You can also have a geolocation targeting, which can help you create personalized and relevant campaigns based on the visitor's physical location. For instance, you can target with a pop-up users who are physically located in Greece or England or any country in the world, or even you can target visitors by their continent. Of course, there is a device-based targeting, which allows you to display pop-ups for phones, tablets, and desktops. And you can create a better user experience and improve your conversion rates. Of course, with EngageBox, you can have a pop-up that is triggered on specific date and time. And of course, it is coming with some Joomla-based targeting rules, like the Joomla user group, which can help you show different messages to logged in user or guest users. Okay, we have no messages. Right now, EngageBox is the 20th most popular extension in the market, with more than 250 reviews. So I believe my gamble I took in 2014 paid off. Okay, if there are no questions about EngageBox, I can proceed with convert forms if you wish. Could it be done by page visits? So if they had visited 3 pages. Yes.
Can you hear us yet, Tassos?
There is already a publishing rule that can help you do that, Philip. Yes, EngageBox does support it. And this particular publishing rule counts the total visits on your website. It doesn't count visits per unique page, if this is what you're asking for.
By this time in the evening, Tassos had been talking into an empty room as we had no video and he couldn't hear us at the other end. He stayed with us for another 40 minutes and ran through his convert forms extension. And when we did finally get the audio working, he hosted a question and answer session for about 10 or 15 minutes. So we're going to break the whole session into 2 videos. We're going to end this video here. So thank you very much for watching, and join us in the next video for Tassos running through his convert forms extension. We excitingly get the audio working, and we have a 10-15 minute question answer session as well. So join us for that. Thank you for watching.